Japan seems to get all the cool stuff. Anime, ramen, an arcade on every other street corner, waifus, and it looks like we can add genuinely good video game movies to that list. Video game movies are always pretty below average. However, there is one that sticks to the original source material, is charming, entertaining, and an all-around awesome movie. Dobutsu no Mori, or the Animal Crossing movie. Yeah, Animal Crossing, a game about moving, taxes, and speaking to neighbors. Everyone's favorite activities. No, I'm just kidding. The games are really fun, but how could this make a good movie? Well, let's find out. Now, I've actually already kind of talked about this movie in another video of mine, the top 7 best video game cartoons. However, I only briefly glossed over the movie, not going into too much detail or anything. But I recently saw it again and was inspired to make this video going more in depth on the movie and giving it its own spotlight. The Animal Crossing movie was released in 2006 and was produced by Nintendo and OLM Inc. OLM is an animation studio in Japan that have quite the resume, with close to 100 different projects under their belt, most famously being Yokai Watch and Pokemon. Yup, since the show's inception all the way up until now, the company has had their mark on it, so there's definitely some quality to be found here. The movie entered production due to the success of Animal Crossing Wild World released on the DS, which shipped over 3 million copies in Japan alone. The game was an instant classic. The studio even worked with some of the Animal Crossing staff directly, making sure they'd stay as close and honest to the source material as possible. Truly, there was love put into this project. Heck, even cooler was that people who ordered their movie tickets in advance would get a voucher that you could redeem in Animal Crossing Wild World to obtain a rare item. That's awesome. Nintendo of America has also stated that there was and is no plan to bring the movie over to North America. Which is fine, really. It's okay. However, a dedicated group of voice actors and fans have uploaded an unofficial fan dub of the movie. It's pretty good, and I'd recommend you checking that one out if you're not in the mood to read. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's finally talk about the movie. So we start off with our adorable main character. Her name is Ai, an optimistic girl moving to a new village, where she hopes to make new friends and find her dream. The tone of the movie is immediately set during this opening sequence. We're greeted with vibrant and colorful landscapes, peaceful acoustic guitar music, and Ai's incredibly contagious smile.
It's I, like A-E-I-O-U.
She eventually reaches Animal Village and is so excited to start her new life.
My name is Pelly.
Oh my god, a talking bird! Oh wait, no, this is normal in Animal Crossing World. We get greeted with a bunch of villagers who inhabit this town. They're all very eccentric and charming to watch, one of which happens to be Tom Nook, Ai's new landlord, who immediately puts her to work. Hey, these bills ain't gonna pay themselves. Welcome to the real world, kid!
Working?
She hesitantly becomes a delivery girl, giving us an opportunity to meet more of Ai's future friends. We've got Rosie the cat, who's very fond of herself, praising her wares and achievements. Rosie is pretty eccentric, but still likable overall. We've got Alfonso the alligator, Whitney the very wise and mature wolf, who's definitely one of the more grounded characters in the movie.
Well, delivery duty may not be classy work, but real ladies also know how to work hard, don't you agree?
There's also Margie, a sweet elephant who one day dreams of being a designer. She also quickly becomes Ai's best friend. And finally, after a long day of traveling, working, and meeting all of these unique characters, Ai gets to go to her new home and get some rest. It's all very relatable. This girl who just wanted to move to a new place and have some fun is now confronted with work and the worries of moving to a new place and realizing you may not exactly fit in. Moving to a new place and trying to fit in is a really hard thing to do, especially when you're young. You're trying to figure everything as well as yourself out, so you feel like you have a place to fit in. She also meets a ninja. Okay, after a night of reflection, the next day is much of the same. I'm meeting new villagers and hanging out with them. I really feel like this movie would have benefited as being an actual episodic anime series, giving us plenty of time to meet the characters and grow to know them. However, this movie really does manage to give the feeling of both. It feels like 5 different episodes all strung together to make a movie, but it flows so naturally that it doesn't feel rushed or anything. Ai spends a lot of time talking to Margie about dreams. We see that Margie is constantly chasing and working on her dream, bringing her sketchpad to the beach while everyone else is relaxing or playing in the sand. We meet Mr. Rossetti, this alligator, and this weird kid who are digging up fossils. Oh yeah, just like in the game. And then, literally, the next scene has the group on a boat going on a pirate adventure exploring caves looking for a rare fossil.
Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You're our
Well, I guess you gotta have some action in the movie. They're trying to look for a rare fossil, but instead end up triggering some Indiana Jones-style trap. They make it out of the cave without finding the fossil, unfortunately, but hey, it's an anime, so the real treasure were the friends they made along the way. But let's move on from that near-death experience, because it's time for the Winter Festival. You see what I mean when I say this movie feels like an episodic anime? Events just kind of happen right after another with no real transition. 1 minute we're escaping death, cut to this penguin fishing, festival time. Again though, it never feels unnatural, considering this is the point and feel of the games, living by day-to-day activities. The festival is used as more time to develop the friendship of Ai, Margie, and Rosie. Margie continues to passionately talk about chasing her dream, while Ai inspirationally listens and looks on. Also, I just love festival settings in anime. They always look so fun. Everyone wearing kimonos, playing games, and having an all-around good time. All wrapped up with a concert with the one and only KK Slider. Yeah, okay, that's not the song, but I like it. Ai comes home and reflects on everything, being happy that she's made some new friends, but still feeling lost. Now, this is where the movie gets pretty serious. We see Ai desperately running. We don't know why she's doing this. We then cut to a flashback where we see Rosie scolding Ai for not coming to Margie's goodbye party. This confuses Ai. Is Margie going somewhere? She replies, where Rosie then shocks Ai with the news that in order for Margie to follow her dream and become a designer, she had to move away. Rosie continues to scold Ai, saying that Margie was sad during the entire party because she didn't show up. In shock of the news, Ai immediately bolts out of her house and starts running all over town. There's no dialogue, no inner thoughts, but we know what she's feeling. Desperate and sad, hoping that this is all just one big joke. Eventually, she comes to the realization that her friend is gone. We see how hard this really hits her. She walks by some other villagers playing and having fun, inviting her to join, but she just walks away, not saying a word. She eventually ends up at KK Boss's cafe, which is kind of the kid-friendly equivalent of an adult going to a bar to drink their problems away. It's kinda dark. He gives her the usual, which looks to be hot chocolate, but then plays the song that KK Slider played during the Winter Festival when Ai and Margie were together. This is what makes Ai finally break down and starts to cry, reflecting on the short but sweet memories she had with her friend. Whitney also happens to be in this cafe and lends some of her wisdom onto Ai, reminding her that the bonds between true friends never breaks.
If you believe in yourself, your friends will believe in you also.
Ai reflects on those words, trying to figure out what they mean to her. She also quickly befriends a derpy walrus and invites him over for dinner because, well, we can't have too much depression at once in our film about villaging now, can we? During dinner, though, Ai gets a letter. Wonder who it's from! It turns out this letter is from Margie. She says that she's sorry for not telling Ai that she was leaving, that it would have been too painful to say goodbye, and that she couldn't cry in front of Ai. She couldn't bring herself to do that, and that Ai was the most supportive person she ever met, and that she, of all people, would understand her needing to leave the most. And just as Ai begins tearing up, she sees that Margie also told her that it's her time to find her purpose and follow her dream, whatever that may be. Now, Whitney's words finally have some meaning. If you believe in yourself, your friends will believe in you also. Rosie shows up to apologize for being so mean earlier. They of course make up and see some shooting stars, where I finally looks at peace, genuinely happy and supportive of her friend following her dreams, finishing it all off with a letter to Margie, expressing her happiness.
I think that I'll try to believe in myself a little more, too. P.S. Sometimes people get depressed when they're hungry. Please make sure to keep your stomach full.
What a great ending. But that's not the ending now, is it? Despite this scene wrapping things up really well following I's minor depression, this ending, despite being pretty happy, could still be viewed as sad. I doesn't have her best friend, hasn't found her purpose, so I get why it didn't end right there. So, what does happen next? Well, I'm glad you asked. An alien flies and crashes his spaceship in the village. Yes, his spaceship, which breaks so he can't return home. His spaceship requires that special fossil that was in that cave earlier, and I takes it upon herself to be the hero. She adventures to the cave with her friends, meets up with Margie. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. She's in town visiting to see I and was told she was at the cave. This is fine, I guess, but we just went through that emotional farewell, only for her to return 20 minutes later. Anyway, they get the fossil and save the alien. As you can tell, I kinda rushed through the last segment of the movie. Not because it's bad, but mainly because I feel like the movie hit its peak during the shooting star scene. However, this ending is a more traditionally happy one, with I being rewarded with a trophy for her bravery, briefly being reunited with her friend, and seemingly finding her dream and believing in herself. Finally fitting in. All around, I definitely recommend this movie. It's beautiful to look at, has lovable characters, funny writing, references to the game, and a surprising amount of depth for a children's video game movie. It's a shame it was never released worldwide, but I'm really happy that it exists. Also, I just realized that I is the adorable reinterpretation of the female nightmare villager. Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. And remember, if you believe in yourself, your friends will believe in you also. Also pie! Lots and lots of pie!